Hey guys, so now that we can create conditions, let's also display them. And for that we'll need to create a couple of new widgets. So let's go to our blueprints and widgets, right click, user interface and widget blueprint. This one will be called conditions box underscore widget, and create one more, user interface widget blueprint, and this one will be condition icon underscore widget. Let's open the box first. In here we will need to add canvas panel and then horizontal box, which will hold our conditions. Then let's anchor this to the middle, Control and Shift, make size X 400 and size Y will be 50. Now compile and save, we don't have to do anything here. Let's go to condition icon, search for canvas panel, add it, and then we need to add icon, which will be our image. Add it to the canvas panel. Let's anchor it to the middle, so Control and Shift, and size will be 40 times 40. Let's draw it as rounded box, so it's a circle. And now we can add progress bar. We'll also make it 40 times 40. We'll anchor it to the middle, and in style we will remove background, so change the tint alpha channel to 0, and fill image will be draw as rounded box, and image size should be all. So now when you change the percent is 0.5, we like this. We will change it from top to bottom to top, and then we'll flip it around. Don't worry about this showing through, we will change it after. Just change the Z order to 1, and this one will be called condition progress timer, and this one will be condition icon. Now compile and save. Now dock it in the layout, and what we need to do is communicate between our condition components and tell our player or our enemy or whoever that they need to create this widget. And for that we will need to create new interface, and we already have one interface called interact, and that is basically communicating between our player and the objects we're picking up to tell them what to do. So now we're going to create another one. Just create blueprints interface, and this one will be conditions underscore BPI, so blueprint interface. In here we will create new function. This will be add condition. We'll need input, so create new input. First one will be the condition struct, so conditions info, and this will be condition info. And we will need one more, so we can pass the reference of the actual condition component. So this will be the condition BPC, blueprint component, object reference. And this will be condition component reference. Compile and save. Now let's add it to our player. So open the player blueprint. In here you go to class settings, and when you got implemented interfaces, you can see interact BPI. Just add another one, and this will be conditions BPI. Now when you compile, here in the interface you can see we now have an add condition that we created in condition BPI. Okay, so now we're not going to send a message to ourselves, we're going to go to this conditions component, edit, and now when we create a condition, another condition component, after this we can get the owner, which can be again player or enemy, that has this interface that we just created, and we can add condition message. So we'll send a message to add that condition, okay? And condition info we have here from the map of conditions, and condition component we just created it here, so we can pass this reference to this one as well. Okay, compile and save. Now in a player we can double click on this condition, and this will let us handle it however we want. So if we want to create buffs in our player HUD, for example, we will do that here. But if the enemy wants to create it just like under the health bar or something, we will just create different function in an enemy. Okay, so for now we want to create it in player HUD, so let's open our widget, player HUD, and I'm going to add the conditions box. And just move it here, just over my health bar. You can also put it over the stamina bar, but since the stamina bar disappears, I'm not sure if it's a good idea. So just leave it here for now, compile and save. And now we need to tell our condition box to spawn some condition. So we're going to create function here in the conditions box. This will be just create condition. It will need input here on the bottom, so we'll add two inputs. First one will be that condition info, so conditions info s, which will be condition info, and second one will be that reference to the component, so condition BPC blueprint component object reference, and this one will be condition component reference. We won't be doing anything with this here, we'll just pass it to the actual icon. Okay, so here now we're going to create widget, create widget. Widget we're creating is the condition icon. We'll add child, so we'll get this, we didn't make it variable, so this horizontal box will be conditions box panel or whatever, just so not sure if it's not duplicate variable. So conditions box panel, we'll get it, we'll add child, and this one will be the child that we'll add. Okay, we will break this open, but we can't pass it to the widget directly, so first we need to go to our condition icon, and here we'll need a couple of the variables again. So we don't want to pass the whole struct because we had the problems with that before, so instead we're just going to get a duration, which will be float. We're going to get that condition reference. Instead of creating it, just get its where we can get it from, conditions BPI. Screw it, let's just go back to icon, create the condition BPC object reference, which will be condition component ref. And what else we need? Duration. We also need the icon, so we're going to create a condition texture because we already have a condition icon variable. Okay, and this one will be texture to the object reference. All these three that we created, we need to make instance editable, expose on spawn, then the duration, instance editable, expose on spawn, and condition texture. Okay, compile and save. Now in the box, if you refresh this, so refresh nodes, you now have duration, you have condition component reference, which we're just passing through this, and condition texture is the condition icon. Okay. Right, now we have everything set up in the icon. In the player, just we didn't call it, so we can get our player HUD. Because that's where it's located, and we will get that conditions box, and we will call create condition function, create condition, and all we have to do is just connect the reference here. Okay, just passing it all the way from the component to the actual icon. Okay, and now in the icon, in the condition icon, first in the beginning, so destroy the pre-construct and tick, we're going to set brush, get the condition icon, and then set brush. So we're going to set the icon, break it open, make slide brush. The icon will be condition icon, so image, and then we need to do set timer by event. We could have handled it on event tick as well, but there is a problem that condition is not like component. You cannot destroy condition, not condition. The widget is not like component, because you can't really destroy the widget, you only remove it from parent. But then I got the feeling that it always stays in the memory just like as a reference or something, and it's not really cleared, so I don't want to run any of the timers or anything. Rather, I would have a timer by event, and we can turn it off before we destroy it. Okay, so what we're going to do is create new custom event. This one will be update condition timer. We'll connect it here. It will loop 100 times per second, so 0.01 looping. And then what we're going to do here, we do have a reference to our actual condition component, so we get it. We'll right click and we'll convert this to validated get, because we need to check if it's valid. And if it is valid, then we're going to be setting percentage of this progress timer, set %, and percentage will be, we get this reference, condition reference again, just move this, which is the same one as here, and get seconds. So we will get its own timer from the condition component, and we will check, we will divide it with duration, which will give us the percentage on the timer, and it will run all the time. So every 100 times per second it will update, we will get the seconds. But the reason why we're checking if it's valid, it's because suddenly it's going to destroy itself when the timer runs out, and we'll be still trying to get the seconds. So if you get if it's valid, we will stop basically doing this. So if it's not valid, we will clear and invalidate timer by handle. So just in case, we will clear this from here, not from here, and then remove from parent, and it will be self, so we'll basically destroy ourselves. Okay, but before we stop the timer, and then so the progress bar goes from the other side. We can do subtract, or just get from here, minus, so subtract, connect it to the second one, and do 1 here. Okay, which will just be subtracting, so it will be going from the other side, from top to bottom, and decrease. Compile and save. Now we do have timer by function, setting the reference and setting the icons. Now I don't have any icons set, so in my conditions component we do have this map of conditions. So for burning I actually do have this one, but I actually imported a couple of the icons and I'm not going to share them because it's better if you have your own set, because you don't know how many buffs you want to create and stuff, or which buffs you want to create, so I can't share my icons with you, so it's better if you use your own. I have this one for burning, which is like a little flame, and for health regeneration I got like a plus icon, which is regeneration. I think I called it health. So get something like that, you know, like a small PNG icons. Compile and save. And now, okay, let's double check. So we call this add conditions. We will pass the reference, create conditions in the box. We'll create condition reference, set the duration, icon, add the child, and in the icon we'll set the icon. We will start the progress bar. Set its %. Yeah, it should all work. Let's see. So play. Now if I press X, I start the icon, but I don't actually see the icon. Image conditions. This one needs to be condition texture, not the icon. I just connected the same thing, so condition icon is the one I'm setting. Compile and save. Now you can see the plus icon and it's basically filling up, but I still got the timer here created on the condition, which I don't have open, so go to condition blueprint. I'm going to turn off this print string. Right, now it won't be in the way. I press X, I got health regeneration. I press C, I got burning. Okay, I got both buffs. But obviously the fill bar doesn't really look great or anything like that. You know, you can make it like going just a bit over it. So make it like opacity 0.5 or something. But what we're going to do instead, we're going to create new material, which will be radial progress bar around it, okay? And for that, we need to go to our third person. I think we got, yeah, we do have materials already created. So go to materials, right click, go to material and create new one. This one will be radial progress bar. Open it up. In here we're going to select this and change this to user interface so we can use it in our interface, and we'll change it to translucent. And now there is going to be a lot of notes just about materials, and I'm not really a person that can explain them very well because I personally don't know much about materials. So just follow what am I doing and you will see the result is quite nice actually. So what we're going to do is press 1 on the keyboard. That will get you value, and click obviously, then do it to final color and change it to 1, which will give us white color. Then here we're going to again hold 1 and click, change this to 0.5. What we're going to do is radial gradient exponential, which is circle. We need to connect it to radius, and we need to duplicate this. We can duplicate this value as well, but right click and convert to parameter. This one we can name thickness, so how thick the bar will be. We'll just change it to 0.1. We need to from here subtract, which will be this one, and we'll connect it to radius. Now hold 1, click again, and this one will connect to density. So how dense we want it to be. I'll show you in a minute, but I found the value of 50 being pretty good. Otherwise it can be quite jagged if you do less or more. And then here we need to connect them, but we will subtract this one from this one, multiply, and then connect this one to opacity. Okay, now you can see the circle. So we basically getting the circle and we removing the circle from the middle. Here you can change the thickness now, so you can see this is 0.2, 0.3 and so on, but 0.1 is good because we just want to have a radial bar and out. We can actually maybe change it even to 0.05. Let's see. And then what else? Then the second part here. So we'll start from what we need is texture coordinates. Text coordinates. So texture coordinates, that will have a value of 1 and 1. We'll get custom rotator. From here we will hold 1 again and click. We'll connect it to rotation angle. This will be 0.25. We'll subtract again. We're going to subtract another value, which is 0.5. Connect it here. Then we'll multiply that. This time hold 2 on a keyboard and click. And this one we need to set value of x to 1 and value of y to -1. Now connect it to B. Now do vector. What is it? Vector to radial. Vector to radial value. And it's this is it the math or is it the, yeah, it's the math one, the first one. Caesar coordinates, yeah. Make sure it's connected to vector. And now to this, to the first one, we need to add again and create new parameter. So 1 and click. This one will convert to parameter, and this is going to be an important one because it is the percent of our bar, and we connect it here. Then we need to floor it. So floor, and then let's move this back. Almost done. And then this floor we need to connect to multiply from down here, but let's connect it to A, and let's connect this one to B, and then apply. Percent is 0 now. We can set percent to 0.5. You see half of it, 0.8, and you see most of it. Okay, and now we can just manipulate this parameter. So leave it at, no, let's leave it at, doesn't matter, let's leave it at 0.5 so we can see something. We apply it, and this is basically the radial progress bar. If you want, you can test out some of these values and play with it, what it does, but it is very long to explain as well, and we won't really need it. We'll be just using this one here. And now what we need to do is go to our where are we? Condition icon. Yeah, condition icon. Go to designer. Let's remove this progress bar, and let's replace this with our let's do image. Add it here. This one will be size 50 and 50, so it's around the icon, and it will be our radial progress bar. Make sure it's variable. Compile and save. Now we had it here, so remove this and remove this percentage as well. I connected it wrong anyway. This was meant to go here. Now let's do our own function which will set the percentage of the radial bar. So let's create a new function, set radial bar %. Here we need to add the percentage as an input. Will be % float. And now we need to do create dynamic material instance. Okay, just so we can change this multiple times. So get this material, right click on it, and create material instance as well. Okay, so every time you use it, we can have a different values. So we'll be using this one, the instance. So select it here, radial progress bar instance, the second one. Now we're going to promote this to a variable. Don't do local, promote it to regular variable. This will be radial bar radial bar mat reference, mat ref. Okay, so we do have reference. We don't have to change anything here. Now we're going to set brush of the radial progress bar. We'll set brush. In brush we'll make slate brush, and we can connect this to image or from here. That will set it to that radial progress bar. And now we can search for set scalar parameter value. We will need to connect this one, radial bar reference. I think I spelled it wrong. The bar is lowercase, so bar reference. We'll get it here and connect it to so get it here and do it again, set scalar parameter value. The parameter needs to be exactly the same name as we've written % in the material. So in here we got the %. Okay, you can copy it from here, then go to condition icon and paste it here, or just spell it correctly. And then percentage we're setting is this one here. So basically we're changing the parameter, okay? And that's why we need to create dynamic material instance, otherwise we can't change that material. And just connect it here. And this way it will be updating that bar instead. Compile target must have a connection. Right, this one remove. And we'll do our own set radial bar % on is valid. And this one will just do that, it will be removing from it, not adding to it. Okay, so we'll add this to the percentage. Now compile and save. Let's see if that works. So I press X, you can see I got healing. I press C, I got burning. Okay, they are a little bit too close together, so we'll fix that. But it's working fine. I got 2 buffs and it actually looks pretty nice. I just need to fix it that it's going to be in the middle and it's on over the health bar. So in the player hat conditions, alright, because the size X needs to be 450, and then I'll move it just here like that. And going to, we need the padding. Well, we'll fix it next one. I don't want to look for it. So just in a player hat, I'm just going to make it, maybe start here, and then it will be spawning icons one after the other. Then we'll make it's actually centered. So compile and save. And now one more thing we can do is we can change the color of the icons, and that way it will be a little bit more visible, so they're not just white. And we can add it in our conditions. So in our condition S, you can close this. Yes. And here we will just add new variable, and this one will be icon color. It will be, I think it's slate color that we need to do. Slate color. Save it, and now we need to pass it all the way from, actually no, it will pass to the player as a condition info. Now in the condition box, yeah, this is where we are just sending some of the things. So in the condition icon, let's create new variable. This one will be condition color. It will be slate color, and it will be instance editable and expose on spawn. Compile and save. While we're here, we can also set it. So look, we do have this brush exposed, so we can just get a slate color and connect it to tint. And then on the conditions box, refresh this. And we now have a color. Compile and save. Now I'm going to set the color in our conditions component. I need to compile this because it's a map array, and the color for burning will be red. It's not a red color, it looks orange. Yeah, like a warm red, and color for healing, because it's health, it will be green. And now if I play the game, I activate one condition and activate second condition. And it's up to you what you prefer, if you like it with color or not. We don't have to connect it, but I think that looks awesome. And we can say we're regenerating and we're burning health at the same time, but my regeneration is higher. Okay, and that is it. We can just tweak it a little bit, play with it, and maybe create some more conditions. Okay, but I think this video is super long, so I'll see you in the next one. Bye.